So hello there, this is Srivasu Gaurasetti and you are watching my channel. So in the previous video I said we will start with the bubble sort and let's get started. So the bubble sort algorithm is written here, but before looking into here this part we will understand it with an example. So what is the logic in the bubble sort? The basic logic in the bubble sort is swapping two elements. So how is this swapping performed? Okay. Firstly, consider this array which is having 6 elements, okay, 25, 11, 3, 1, 6 and 9. So first we will take, or else we will set I is equals to at the index of the array. So 25 is fixed. Now we will check any element, that is the adjacent element to the 25. There is only one adjacent element, that is 11. So if the value is less than the current element, that is the element, you can check the algorithm also here, right? If consider the array name is array, if array of I, that is the element that is present at I location, is greater than element of array present at I plus 1 location, that is this, then perform a swap operation. Then we will get 11, 25, 3, 1, 6, 9. Again we will do the same thing. Now when we perform a swap operation, 25 will be coming here, 6, 9. See, for just for single pass we are getting all these elements. Again we will set to I here, that is at 11, and we will check what will happen. Okay, 5, 3, 1, 25, 6, 9, 11, 3, 1, 6, 25, 9, 11, 3, 1, 6, 9, 25. Now the thing is that by the end of first iteration, this complete array is obtained. Just for one iteration we are getting the highest value bubbled out. So get the name, the highest element is bubbled out at the last of the array, and we are not familiar that we are getting the shortest element in the starting of the array or not. Again we should perform the things recursively. So bubble sort, we can write a program either by using a function or else normal procedure. So I will discuss normal procedure in the coding part, and for the meanwhile you remember that by the end of a pass we get a highest element at the end of the array when it is swapped rigorously. So we get this element. So with this example, now you can understand the pattern, how the things are going to form after each pass, right? So one array could be, we will perform lot of swap operations, and you understood what are those swap operations, how are we going to perform. So one thing would be, we got the largest element at the end of the array, that is fixed. Now the second largest element, 11. Obviously when we will start comparing 11 with 3, 11 will come here, again 11 will come here, it will shift and come till here. So this is pass 1. By the end of pass 1 we will get like this, and by the end of pass 2 we will get a pattern like this. So everything will remain same except the 11 will change, 3, 1, 6, 9. So the by end of pass 2 we will get a thing like this. Again the highest element is bubbled out to the rightmost side. Again 25, 11, 9, it's perfect. 1 3. This is pass 3 and coming to last one 25 11 9 6. It should be swapped 1 3. So in the last pass we will get the sorted array. So this is how the things are going to be done in the bubble sort. Swapping is the major logic, and two values are compared. A value is lesser than the current value that we are present, then we will make a swap operation. So now keeping this logic in mind, check the algorithm. Okay, algorithm, begin the bubble sort. Okay, give a parameter as array elements we are going to give as a parameter. Okay, for all elements of array, that is every element. See, I said in the previous video, for accessing or else for scanning or giving elements at the runtime, okay, we use a for loop, especially for arrays, because we can't type every element with index, and we can't, it will take lot of lines of code, as well as it will take lot of time to code up. So for easy and convenience, we use a for loop. Then we will check if array of I means the, here the array name is array. Okay, don't get confused, array name is array, or else you take capital A of I, anything, the name should be good, that's all. I means the element that is present at ith index, that is, it can be 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, if that element is greater than I plus 1, means an element is I is greater than I plus 1. I plus 1, again you can take it as j for clear understanding, because you are getting 2 times I, right? For a clear understanding you can take j. So if that is happening, then you perform a swap operation. So here swap is a function which swaps two values of a given array. So for this, a small code is there, small piece of code. We will take another variable and we will assign various values by using this array of I and array of I plus 1. So we can perform a swap operation, and once the swap operation is performed, complete it, and the if and the for loop, and return the array that you have obtained, and end the bubble sort. So this is how the things go in the bubble sort. So I hope this algorithm is very clear. Now the major question that you get many times, I guess people would not ask logic because this is the simplest logic, but if they ask, you can easily explain them. So what is time complexity cases? So what is the, we will start with average case. Best case it is easy to explain you, but average case it is difficult. Average case. So here if you observe carefully, we are accessing the elements of array by using a for loop. So if the length of the array, consider there is no particular length, if the length of the array is n, that is size of the array. Okay, if it is n, then we are performing n minus 1 comparisons in the first pass. How? Check. By the end of first pass, we started this array like this, we got an array like this. See, 25 is starting its comparison from 11. That is, it is not checking with itself, it is checking from 11 to n. That is, the length of size is n, but it starts its comparison from 11. So one element is not getting checked, right? That is, with itself it is not checking. So n minus 1 comparisons are made. N minus 1 comparisons are made in the first pass, and in the second pass, when you start the things, obviously it is followed by n minus 2, because we know the last element is fixed. We got the largest element and it is bubbled out. So when the last element is fixed and the first element is not checking with itself, So only 2 elements are missing from the given length of n size, right? So we will keep on adding until n minus 3 in the third pass and so on. We don't know here the size of array. In that way we are calculating the time complexity. Plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, so on. So for this we are having a formula n into n minus 1 by 2, so which is equal to n square. So anything we represent in time complexity, we use O of n square, that is order of n square. So this is the average case of finding the things. So now the best case. So how the best case could be? How can you assume the best case is? See, yesterday I said, in the previous video I said, in bubble sort, the things you do means the best case could be finding the element that you are searching for, okay, that is searching. If the array is sorted itself, that is, you got an input array elements, you have given 5 elements, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So all these elements are sorted, right? When these are sorted and this is the array that you are asked to solve a particular problem and perform a bubble sort algorithm operation, then it is the best case that you have, because everything is in sorted order and you have nothing to perform a swap operation. Now, but one thing is that a small disadvantage you can think, or else it is a good case also you can think. Even though you are not performing any swap operations, but the bubble sort algorithm and the code that you have written checks for the elements and checks every element, that is, we are using a for loop for accessing every element and checks whether we have to perform a swap operation or not. So here I am not mentioning any length and taking the length as n, that is size of an array. So for that size n, the for loop is continued just to check whether we have to perform swap operations or not. So this is not necessary and a bit disadvantage for the bubble sort, but this is the best case, that is, we are going to check for all n elements by using a for loop. So that is going to take a time of order of n. So that is the best case that you can expect. Now what is the worst case? Now what is the worst case? This is another a logical thinking question. Now worst case could be when the elements are given in the sorted order from reverse. That is, I said here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If input elements are given as 5, 3, 4, 2, 1, now they asked, or else someone asked to us to perform a bubble sort operation on this. Okay, now again every element, every swap has to be performed. I guess you got to know about the average case, right? Now how that can be performed? N minus 1 for when you get the first pass here, again followed by n minus 2 and so on. The process continues because we have to perform multiple swaps for every element in here. So obviously it is also equivalent to n square, and time complexity we are representing order of with the symbol O of n square. So this is the best case, this is the worst case, and average case also O of n square. So the average case and the worst square are equivalent to order of n square in the time complexity function representation, and the best case is order of n. So this is the complete concept of bubble sort, and the thing that I want to say is that you understand the advantages and the disadvantages of it. So where this can be applied, if the array size is very limited, so this is the best one that you can apply, because it is going to implement its things very in a short amount of time, and if limited number of items are there, then this is a very good sorting algorithm. But if for array of very huge size, that is of 100 elements or 50 elements, then you should search for any other algorithm. Then this is going to be a bit time consuming as well as not a suitable one, because performing that many swappings, we can't prefer that kind of algorithm at that time. So that's all for right now. I hope this is clear and everything you understood, and in the next video check the code of this bubble sort algorithm. Thank you and take care. Bye.